Today is the 8th of February of 1904 and Russian warships in the port have been bombarded. First Russo-Japanese war just begun. Hello, I am your teacher Baron Benjamin and welcome to 19th century. In 2nd of February, the Japanese ambassador in St. Petersburg informed Tokyo that the Tsardom, yes, I know Bulgaria was Tsardom too, have no intention to evacuating Manchuria, but message did not reach Tokyo until 7th of Feb. Yeah, 19th century communication. And it was too late. On previous day, Korea-San ruptured diplomatic relations and Russian foreign minister received a letter which Japan rightfully accused Russia of delaying its response in an inexplicable manner and stated that it was difficult to reconcile the military actions of Russia with its declared intentions of peace. So next day, Japanese Navy by preparing cruisers Kasuga and Nishin, which was Italian, so if you ask me, it was not worth of weight, under supreme command of Togo Heihachiro, bombarded the naval base of Port Chemulpo, which was in vicinity of Seoul. Most of Japanese warships made for Port Arthur, while a small naval force under Rear Admiral Uryu Tsutokichi remained to protect the landing operation in the night. So on the 8th, First Army took Seoul and the Russian cruiser Varik and gun vessel Koretz scuttled by Russians. 10 Japanese destroyers attacked Russian warships at Port Arthur. That day, Russian sailors and soldiers were in hangover. No comment since you already done it. Despite that, Navy and coastal batteries prepared so soon, but generally this Japanese attack was more successful than Pearl Harbor one because unlike someone else, I am looking at you Yamamoto, Togo held his position. I have to say this invasion was not happened just by Japanese desire of defense against Russian danger zone in the east. In fact, Japan was ally with British. Plus, Mukhbar Sultaneh, one of Iranian ministers of communication and poets, which at the time was in Tokyo, informed us about Japanese-American compromise by Roosevelt, the American ambassador, which left Japan for USA 2 days before, just when Japanese foreign minister practically declared war. Plus, since Russia took Port Arthur, Japanese military did know war would come. To be fair, Bakufu did know that too, against British and American too. Wow, foreshadowing. So Japan, since 1895, sent agents to Russia and its border countries. One of those agents were Fukushima Yasumasa, which previously, with his horse alone, passed Russia, Siberia, and came to Japan from north. This time, he sent to India, Iran, and Central Asia. In fact, Russian authorities one time searched for a Japanese spy at Bukhara who introduced himself as a Persian. That seems weird, but you know, not every Persian are look like Arabs and Indians. Some looks like Uzbeks because they are Uzbek. Duh. As Takubuku Ishikawa, the Japanese poet, wrote on 7th of Feb, newspapers wrote intensely about the intense relation of Russo-Japanese governments. Today's newspaper reports that the situation between Japan and Russia has suddenly become critical. I hear that reserves in village are being called up. The gauntlet has been thrown. A heaven-sent chance has come. A marvelous thing. But imagine how intensely next day all newspapers of world wrote about the war. Did I say intense? On the 10th of Feb, Japan officially declared war, and Tenno Meiji informed his celestial ancestors about the war, so there was no setback. About that day, Mukhbar Sultaneh, which was in military academy of Tokyo, report a peasant soldier came into hall with newspapers in his hands. He said something, and suddenly everybody, even injured ones, jumped into air, and they were so happy. I asked what just happened. The answer was Russo-Japanese War just begun, aka World War Zero, also known as First Asian War of Independence. About first battles, so many poems wrote. In Mikado Name, aka the Book of Mikado, which is an epic long Persian book, say, in that day, which was Russian holiday, Japanese navy appeared. They were just like whales and dragons. It was a black mourning day. Navies broken, soldiers were slain and did eaten by ocean fishes. Fire and blood was Russian war. And Jane O'Kelly, in Russo-Japanese war poem about Incheon say, the Russian sailors were for prowess famed, and hardihood in sailing ships of yore, mechanic skill they seemed inapt to grasp. The Japanese excel in science more. Japan's Mikado, Mutsuhito, named belongs to oldest dynasty of kings throughout the world. The founders reign to times of Bel, the Babylonian reign. As you can see, I'm not good at English poem. Live with it. In attack to Port Arthur battleships, Zarovich Retvizen, which was the heaviest, and large cruiser Pallada heavily damaged. So balance of naval power shifted toward Japan, and the opportunity to capture Korea with no marine danger came. Of course, navy at Vladivostok was a possible danger, but one of main events happened when Russian soldiers fired at British fishboat, which was mistaken as Japanese destroyer, weirdly. Clearly, British public opinion was not positive about this Russian act, and so Anglo-Japanese intelligence appeared, which was so effective against Russia. Because of these unhappy events against Russia, Vice Admiral Stark was replaced with Stepan Osipovich Makarov. In 3 weeks, Japanese Navy, with the help of the trade ships, blockaded the port and brought army into Korea. So Korea was split into 2 zones, south under Japan and north under Russia. Ah, such a different time. Even Korean King Kojong sent 17,000 men to help Russians, while pro-Japanese sided with their beloved ones. So it was a start of Russo-Japanese war, and we would follow it month per month as happened in 1904 to 1905. We would have another videos as well. But consider this, I cannot take any money whatsoever. So this is just a passionate project. This is 19th Century Channel and would catch you on the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell button.